show your profile photo. And those are the ways that you can participate in the background.
Thank you, Christopher. I think the live stream is working. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It says the meeting is being live streamed. And I recently discovered that I have multiple YouTube channels. I have a Brenda Meller, I had a Meller Marketing, I had a Brenda Meller from 7 years ago, and multiple channels kind of floating out there. So I want to make sure this is going to the right one before we get our discussion going. So give me just a moment. While you are waiting for me to do that, I would love to see, where in the world are you joining us from? Go into chat right now and tell us where you are joining us from. Could be city and state, could be country. Just let us know where in the world you are joining us from, if you wouldn't mind. All right, streaming software.
Could we possibly play a guessing game, if you can guess where I'm coming from?
All right, look at that. We've got people from all over the world. We got India, Oak Park, Illinois, Shelby Township, Michigan, Grand Rapids, New York, DC. Let's see, Brazil. We're from New Jersey, Virginia, Florida, Virginia, Massachusetts, Ontario. So we're international. We're like all over the world today. I am delighted that you have chosen to make this a part of your Friday. You may not have chosen the circumstances that got you here, but you're choosing every day what to do and how to move forward. And I want to start by asking for your help. Now, if you're following me on LinkedIn, you may have seen that I created this checklist for people that are using LinkedIn for sales, and I'll put it in chat right now. But it says 50 ways for VIPs and sales leaders to improve your LinkedIn profile, and people can come to my website and they can download this free checklist, and I'll put it in here if any of you are interested. But what I want to do is I want to create a top 10 checklist, something as a resource for people who have recently lost their job, whether they've been displaced or downsized or let go, or, whatever, the company went out of business, whatever the reasons, whatever the circumstances. I want to put together, what do you need to do right now? And I want you all to think back to that moment when it happened for you. What do you wish you would have known now that you didn't do then? And I'll give you a few for examples, and I'm going to draw upon some of my personal experiences and then some experiences from clients I work with, from family members, from friends, like the things that happened, and you're in an emotional place, right? And it's all happening at once, and you're not thinking clearly, and you're worried about income and benefits and what's going to happen. And after you gain some distance from it, you're like, you might wish to have said, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. So I want you to go into chat, and I want you to put your tips, what you would suggest for people who are if this is like day one of you being out of work and re-entering the job search market, what would you do? And I'll give a few examples. One is, if you are asked to sign any sort of a separation agreement, have an attorney review it. If you have a friend who's an attorney who'll do it for free, great. If not, it might be worth paying to have an attorney review it, depending on if there's a separation agreement or some type of severance pay attached to it. It might be worth paying for an attorney to do that. I signed up for a service called Legal Shield, and it's like, I don't know, $50 a month, and you get access to an attorney. You could sign up for 1 month and have them review your document and then cancel. You could do that. So there's lower cost ways of getting an attorney, but have an attorney look through anything before you signed it. Another tip I would tell people is, if you're asked to submit a letter of resignation in order to get separation pay, talk to an attorney first, because if you do that, you are negating all of your future unemployment benefits. So if they give you a separation agreement and that covers 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, and then after that time period ends, let's say you're not back to work, you can't file for unemployment, because unemployment will say you left your job, you quit your job. Okay, so now you're stuck without income. So these are things that I wish there was something out there that had this, what do you need to do now? And my vested interest in this whole thing is, I support the job seeker community. I feel like there's a huge gap between employers who take care of their employees when they are employees of an organization, and then until you are onboarded to your next employer, who takes care of you in the meantime? I feel like that tugs at my heart, right? And I want to help. And that's part of the reason I do these Friday calls. And spoiler alert, one of the items is going to be sign up for Brenda Meller's VIP job seeker office hours. That will be like number 10 or whatever it is on the list. But I want to know, like, what else should you be doing? And think about this could be even there could be a second page that's like, what do you do if you think you might be displaced? And one of those things would be take all your personal files off of your computer, right? Change your LinkedIn email from your work email to your personal email. Like, what are the things you should be lining up so that you're protecting yourself? Because really what happens, and I think if you've gone through this, you know this is what happens. When you are let go, you're pulled into an office with HR or your manager, right? And they tell you what happened and they'll tell you the terms. And then you're escorted back to your desk. You can't get back into your computer at that point. You're done. You're locked out. And probably what happens is that, as a matter of fact, as you're walking into the meeting, HR calls IT and says, okay, go ahead and disable Brenda. So you're done. So I want to help people so that they are prepared for these things. And I want to help ease some of the discomfort and angst of going through this very difficult process of re-entering the job search market. And I invite you all to, as we're going throughout the call, put additional items in chat. If it's something you don't want to put publicly in chat, but you'd like to submit it as a suggestion for my checklist, you can email it to me, brenda@mellermarketing.com. If I could ask everyone to please mute themselves, I'm hearing a little bit of background noise, and I just want to make sure we can all hear here without having the background noise. I'm going to probably mute a couple of you as we're going through. Okay, cool. I got the background noise off. So again, if you have any advice for people who have recently been let go, terminated from their employer, the company is gone, whatever, reentering, what advice would you have to offer them? And again, I remind you, one thing would be, before signing off on any separation agreements, have a lawyer or an attorney review it. Another is, do not submit a letter of resignation, because if you do, you'll negate your unemployment benefits. And there may be some exceptions to that. I've had some friends where they've been asked to do a voluntary retirement, and then it's not really voluntary. If you don't submit for your retirement, you're going to be probably let go anyways, and then the package isn't going to be as good. So that's not voluntary to me. That's being forced out. But that's a topic for another day. So I want to help to create this resource. I'm going to make it a free download, and one of the items will be register for my VIP office hours. Okay. So if you have tips, let me know. And if you are a resume writer, Jude, wink, wink, and you want to say, like, get your resume ready, and if you'd like me to put your name in that resource, in that document, I would be happy to link to you on there as a thank you for being on these calls. All right. So it is now 10:12. If you have not yet done so, please go into chat and introduce yourself right now. And here on the VIP calls, we use a format for introducing ourselves. I'm going to put mine into chat right now. We don't need to hear your life story, but here's what we want to know about you. We want you to tell us your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, where in the world are you located, where your position may be based out of, and then put your LinkedIn URL using the full address with the HTTPS. To get that, you need to go to LinkedIn, open it up, and then you'll grab it from the window at the top. Okay. Drop your introductions in, start connecting with each other during the phone call. And while we are doing that, I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you who are joining me here today. Good morning to Christopher, who's going to be helping me behind the scenes, Amy, Brad, Camille, Christina, Cindy, Dean, Esmeralda, Gabrielle, Herman, Jeff, Jeffrey, Joan, Joey, Jude, who's going to be helping me out as well. I'm going to make Jude a co-host right now. Linda, Lisa L, and Lisa V, LT, Megan, Mindy, I'm going to make you a co-host as well. Megan, I'm going to make you a co-host as well, because you're kind of like an honorary co-host. You've been one for so long, so I'm going to make you an honorary co-host as well. Let's see who else. Nancy, Paige, who's my intern. Thank you for joining, Paige, and thank you for helping. She's going to load some links in the background as we're going. And then we have Scott, Sonia, Sue. I'm going to make you a co-host as well. Thank you for joining us today, Sue. And let's see, Paige, Scott, Sonia, TGIF. Yes, TGIF indeed. And Valerie Ryan. Good morning and welcome to all of you. I'm delighted that you have found us here. If you're new, I want you to raise your hand right now. You can raise your hand manually if your video's on, like I'm doing, or if you are camera shy, you don't want to be on camera, just go into chat and type in the word new. NEW. I'm just curious if there's anybody joining us for the very first time here today. If you've been here before, you know we follow a certain format, and that is we cover success stories from job seekers. We will answer your questions as related to your job search, whether it's using LinkedIn for job search or resume questions, interviewing questions, salary negotiation questions, anything like that. We will help you out with those questions. And then if we have time permitting at the end, we might do some LinkedIn profile reviews. With that said, I see that we have a few folks that are new. We have Amy who's joining us. We have LT who's joining us. And there may be some other folks as well, but I want to welcome you. I know you may not be happy to be here today because you'd rather be back to work, but someday you will be. And this is going to be a blip. This is a brief time in your history. You're going to be back to work and you're going to maybe miss these, right? But you'll also be happy because you're back to work, and that is our goal. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to run through our co-hosts, and I will ask each of them to introduce themselves. And then we're going to start with hearing your success stories and answering your questions. If you do have a success story, I want you to put the word success in chat right now, SUCCESS, and we will call on you. We'll ask you to unmute yourself and tell your success story. And a success could be, I got a job. It could be, I'm interviewing. It could be I have dual offers. It could be I'm negotiating. It could be I got a call from a recruiter. Whatever you deem to be a success on the path to finding a job, we want to hear about it. And I'm going to ask you to share briefly that story and any advice to fellow job seekers. If you have questions, I want you to type the word question in all caps, QUESTION, followed by typing out your full question. That way, if we can't get to you, we can see your questions and we can answer them. And Megan, since you're back on the call, you used to help me out a while back with identifying the success stories and questions. Would you want to help me out with that again today? Megan? Bueller?
I can't do it today just because I am sitting outside.
No
I'm
problem.
I'm at the, but I will take you up on that offer for the following Friday.
All right.
Unless you all want me to share your personal business here in downtown Cleveland.
Ooh, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. Well,
we're
we're glad to see you back on the call here today, Megan, and looking forward to supporting you. So we're going to go first with our speaker co-host introduction. I'm going to call on each of you, and then we'll do success stories and questions. I'm going to pull up chat, and we'll keep us going. We've got a very large size group here today, which is awesome to help all of you. So we're going to go Christopher, Sue, Jude, Mindy. Christopher, Sue, Jude, Mindy, in that order. Go ahead, if you could, Christopher.
Well, good morning. Christopher Johnson. The name of my company is Calm Clear Communications, and what I do is help people produce virtual events. Think Zoom or webinars, conferences, so that can be an engaging, productive, fun meeting. And next is...
Thank you. I'm Sue Griffey. Sue Mentors is my global mentoring practice. I work with professionals at all levels of transitions when they find me. And I'm also the self-proclaimed mentor with pom-poms. You'll see me use them liberally because I like to celebrate our small wins because small wins get us to the big one. Jude.
Hi. Good morning. My name is Jude Gall, and I am a certified resume writer and employment strategist. My company is called Resume Redux, and I work with mid-level professionals who are perhaps wanting another job, maybe making a lateral move, or even scaling up. And I help them get the job that they want by helping with resumes and job search coaching.
Thanks, Jude. I'll take it from here. Hey, everyone. So glad to be here with you all. My name is Mindy Stern. I am a career accelerator, and that means I coach professionals to just accelerate their careers. And whether that means helping with resumes or interview prep or just strategizing what your next step should be, that's what I love to do. In early 2020, I formed a group called the Accelerators, which is a job-seeking group. We host a a call every month. Next month in October, we are hosting a recruiter who's going to open the curtains behind the recruiting mantle and show us everything that you ever wanted to know. It's going to be a really fun interview. So if you're interested, I did plop the link into our chat. Just register and we'll see you October 12th. That's a Wednesday. We have hosted wonderful people in the past. Brenda was one of our guests last month. And we're looking for, I have booked through January. So if you're interested in being a presenter on one of our calls, we have a fabulous group of job seekers and you're always welcome. No charge, and it's a live event. Thank you for having us. Appreciate it, Brenda. And I'm gonna send it back to you.
My camera was giving me issues and I'm trying to unplug and replug. This is the difference too, actually, while I'm doing this, I want to show you. This is my laptop camera, the one that's like right in the middle of my laptop in front. And let me show you what happens when I plug in my external. Look how much better that is. Isn't that amazing? And I want to encourage you, if you are in career transition right now, it may be worth investing in a better quality webcam. You can plug these things in. I've got like one on a tripod and it's a little bit higher than my laptop. So it doesn't look like you're looking up my nose during an interview, right? And then also you can adjust the level, you can move it around the room, that kind of stuff. It might be worth investing. I think the one I paid for was a little bit more expensive. I do a lot of videos and coursework and things like that. So it might have been like $80, but you can find these pretty inexpensively on Amazon these days. So do keep that in mind. All right, so I see so far 3 items have come in and we're going to go in this order: Sonia, Lisa V, and Joey. So Sonia, I'm not sure if it was a success story or what was happening, but are you able to unmute yourself, Sonia?
Yes, and I will speak quickly between sneezes. Happy fall allergy season. So last week I mentioned that I decided to add being a notary public to my skill set. And I did. I took the test in New Jersey and I passed it. And now I'm waiting for, I see the pom-poms, thank you. And I'm waiting for my packet to come in the mail so I can be sworn in by my county clerk. And now in New Jersey, you can, a notary can notarize documents remotely or mobile. So I can be on the go and I can go to folks. So it's something that I wanted to add to my skill set. It's probably going to supplement my income. I don't anticipate it being a full-time role, but it could be. So I'm restarting my business and I passed the test, and for me, that was important. So thank you all, because coming here to these calls helped me to kind of sort through it and decide what I wanted to do. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So does it sound like for you, Sonia, the path is now going to be working for yourself? This is the business. This is the path for you, or is this like in the meantime, do you think?
Both.
Okay.
I still am teaching. I teach senior citizens through a community college how to use their devices, their phones and their computers, and I love doing that. So, but it's not enough. I don't have enough classes to support the income that I'd like to bring in. So I'll be doing that, the mobile notary and remote notary to supplement it.
Awesome. And is that business live yet? Meaning, did you post it? You haven't posted on your LinkedIn yet. I want to make sure I didn't miss it.
I posted on my LinkedIn that I passed the test, and I had a question.
I saw that.
Not relevant to this. So I need to build a website. I need to decide what I'm going to be called. I need to do a few things that won't take me long because I do that all myself.
Okay. Well, keep me in mind if you have any questions about that. I do have a couple webinars on the series of moving from corporate to consultant and, announcing your business and how do you reposition yourself and your profile.
Right.
But
I'll definitely have a LinkedIn page like you suggested for sure.
That's awesome. All right. I just shared the YouTube. Whoops. Okay. Awesome. I just shared the YouTube link. I'm sorry, in chat. Hold on one second. I think it opened 2 windows.
Please stand by.
That was fun. I tried to like put the YouTube into chat, and I was like pausing the YouTube in the background, and I realized there's like 4 windows that opened, and I was like, what the heck happened? All right, we're back. There we go. So congratulations, Sonia. We're looking forward to continually supporting you, and thank you for sharing that as well, because I want everyone to remember too, there's multiple paths to careers as there are multiple paths to success. And that's what I heard from Sonia. And I even saw somebody else in chat that said one of their pieces of advice was like they're working with a coach or a mentor to figure out an additional revenue stream until they are back to work. And I love that thought, because creating these other revenue streams, whether it's a side hustle or things like that, can be great because you're creating a little bit of a cushion for yourself. And sometimes, like for me, you guys, I never thought I'd be self-employed. Never. I don't know if that shocks you or not. Like this was not the path for me. I was going to be like a chief marketing officer. I was rising up the corporate ranks. I did my MBA. I did an executive leadership program, blah, de blah, leadership change, restructuring, yada, yada, yada. Here I am. And it takes a little while to grieve that process of, thinking you're going to go down one path and the universe tells you something different. But listen to the signs that are around you. And there's a story, I haven't told this one in a while, but the man on a boat, and it's raining. It's in The Pursuit of Happiness. The kid's telling his father at the end of the movie, if you watch it, and there's this man on a boat, or I'm sorry, man in a house, and it's raining, it's flooding. The whole town's flooded. And he goes up to the second floor, and a guy in a boat comes by and says, come on, buddy, I got to get you out. And the guy's like, no, God will save me. And keeps raining. He goes up to the roof the next day, and another boat comes by, and he's like, we got to get you out. Everybody's leaving. And he's like, no, God will save me. God will save me. Next day, the rainwater continues. He drowns. He goes up to heaven. He's up at the pearly gates, and he's approaching, and he says, God, why didn't you save me? And God says, what do you think the boats were for? And I share this story with you, and I love this story because I think sometimes we're so focused on what it is that we think we need to do and that we want to do and that we have to do, that we ignore the boats around us. So I want you to be aware of the boats around you. I want you to pay attention to when you are in career transition and people approach you and they say, since you have some time, could you help us with this? And sometimes that help may be non-paid, volunteer, pro bono, right? You can still put that on your LinkedIn. You could still definitely put that on your LinkedIn, especially if it's related to your field. Sometimes people will offer to pay you money. And it's crazy that I have to say this, take their money. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, no, I feel bad taking their money. Why? They're offering you money. They wouldn't offer it if they didn't think that you were of value. If they say, I know that you do copywriting and you're looking for work right now. Could you proofread my resume? I'll pay you. You say, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. If they say, how much do you charge, and you feel uncomfortable giving them a number, you say, how much would you like to pay me? And they may say $5, they may say $50, they may say $100, whatever. Take their money. Thank you. That's what you say. You say, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you. You do not say, no, that's okay, I'll do it for free. You say, yes, thank you. And if they pay you cash, there's nothing you have to put on your taxes for that, right? I'm not offering legal advice, by the way. I'm not a CPA. But start paying attention to those boats, because that's what I did. I literally had boats come up to me, people coming up to me saying, since you have some time, could you help me with my LinkedIn? Since you have some time, can you help us with social media strategy? And I had a person say, let's meet for coffee. And then it turned into a LinkedIn session. And at the end, she brought out her checkbook. And I kid you not, I said, what did I say? I said, no, I can't take your money, because it was a friend. And you know what she did? She kept writing, and she said, you're either going to tell me an amount right now, or I'm going to write an amount right now. And I said, I don't feel comfortable charging you because we were meeting as friends. You're giving me career advice. Brenda, I'm writing you a check. If I look back, that check is the official day that Meller Marketing started. Even though I had the LLC on the side, that was probably the official day that it started for me. And she paid me. She paid me for my time that day. That was a boat, right? And I started listening to other people around me offering to pay. And then I'm like, well, maybe I could do this just for now, right? Just until. And there's different career paths that you can pursue. So I want you to be aware of that. What you did before does not have to be what you do next, especially if you weren't happy with what you did before. And I know that might feel really hard and painful. And I had a husband. I have a husband. He worked in retail for many, 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 many years. And if anyone's worked in retail, you know that the higher you go up in the retail food chain up to management, your pay goes really high, right? It's really high to walk away from a manager store salary level to starting all over with your career, but he did that. There are many paths to success, and sometimes we have to take a little bit of a step back to get there. But I want you to be happy with what you're choosing for your career, and almost think about this as like a pause, a hiatus you're on right now, a time to reflect upon what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing, and start to pursue other paths. There may be a boat that comes up to your window and somebody says, "Hey, get on," and you're like, "Oh, just say yes, get on the boat and see where it takes you." You can always go back to the house later, right? You can always go back to what you did before if that exists, but sometimes those jobs don't exist anymore and you have to evolve and change and be open to other things. So I want you to remember that. I hope that inspired you. If you liked my little rant, go into chat and say yes right now. All right. So we had Sonia first. Lisa V, I believe you had a success story. Lisa, what do you got going for us?
Hello, everybody. From my car, I'm on my lunch break. A couple things. Last week, I had asked about replying to a position that I hadn't heard from them in like 2 weeks. So I went out there and I was outside of my comfort zone, but I took Brenda's advice and was a little more forceful than I would be. And I got a reply back that she's been out of the office and she'll be out of the office for 2 weeks. So not receiving a reply from her is okay. And I kind of felt good about that. I feel actually great about that. And then another thing I have to say is that I sent out 4 resumes this week, which is kind of unusual for me. And I used JobScan, and somebody had suggested JobScan, which I signed up for a 3-month membership. And it's really kind of cool. It scans your resume, scans your cover letter, tells you what you need to add into it and what you should take out. And it's really a great tool. So I just wanted to pass that along.
So Lisa, for those people who are not familiar with JobScan, in your own words, how would you describe it?
You scan a cover letter, you scan your resume, you drop it into their site, it scans it, and you also put the job description of the job you're applying for, and it scans that and tells you where you are and what you need to do to match. So like I start out at 30%, and by the time you're finished, they'd like you to be 80. Sometimes it's not, but it's very helpful and a lot quicker than I was using Word Cloud. So
That's
this
awesome.
is a lot.
And I think, did they have you said you had a 3 months, isn't there like a free version? If anyone knows, to drop it in chat and describe for us,
but you can only scan, I think maybe 5 scans. And I needed more than that. So I did 3 months, and 3 months is $9.
Oh, wow. That's cheap. 9, like just the number 9, not 29 or 99. It's 9.
It's $89.
Oh,
I'm shutting down. I'm sorry. My phone is.
That's okay. I was like, I wasn't sure. I was like, that seems really cheap. Wow. Okay. $89.
For unlimited scans. It's a great program. You should check it out. I'm sorry. My phone is going to die.
No problem, Lisa. I'm going to keep us moving along. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And again, to reiterate her earlier story, was communicating with someone. They're on vacation for 2 weeks, hadn't heard back, and we're nudging and keeping them moving along. I want to share another story. I talked to another job seeker this week. He had originally applied for this employer, was told, sorry, you're, not qualified or whatever. And then he had some connections at the company, and he reached out to his connections, and they're like, yeah, did you know we're hiring for XY? He's like, I know, I applied and I got the denial letter. So they went back and they said, no, send me your resume and I'll help to move it along and apply through the website. And he did, and he got an interview. In the meantime, he got an email from Indeed.com saying you're not qualified for this position. And I'm like, you already got the interview. How crazy is that? You already got the interview and they're telling you you're not qualified. So this is just a reminder about ATS systems and how sometimes you get kicked out before you even get the chance to be considered, and the importance of networking, reaching out to other people at the company through LinkedIn, right? Connecting with them, especially if they know you and they're like, yeah, you'd be great for this job. Let them know I'm not making it through the ATS. I'm getting kicked through, right? I'm getting kicked out of it. So great reminders there, Lisa, and keep up the good work. And we're looking forward to hearing more success stories for you in the future. Joey, you are next. And I can't remember if you had a question or if you had a success story. Joey, can you unmute yourself?
I have a success story to share, Brenda.
Wonderful.
So-
What's going on?
So those of you who were on the call, I guess 2 weeks ago, know that I was launching a book, which I did. My first book launched on Monday. And I'm happy to report that, thank you very much. Don't stop clapping. No, I'm happy to report that I've been getting some unbelievable, amazing reviews from people that have just shocked me and floored me. And even though I wrote the book for job seekers, the replies I'm getting, the responses I'm getting are that it's not just for people that are looking for work. It's just a good how-to resource, if you will, for people just living their lives. And so I was floored by that, and I was very happy about that. And it just makes me pumped. And I'm already writing my second book, which is going to be less specific and more general. But you know, my mind is flowing with ideas about stuff, and I'm trying to get the stuff down on my keyboard. But I just wanted to share with everybody that one of the things that came out of this book is that people are responding who I don't know. And so for those of you who are looking for work, it's the classic case of, and I talk about this in my book, and you probably know this, or if you don't, here it is. Everybody you meet, those 250 people you don't know. You don't know who can help you. And the chances are great that the person who does help you is somebody that you don't know. But they won't know you unless you talk about yourself somehow, some way, right? And get yourself out there. So me writing this book is me getting out there, and people are now finding me that I never would have met or known. So for what it's worth, go for it, right?
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
Did I find the right page? So I'm going to drop this link into chat right now. For those of you who might be interested in checking. So this is the link to purchase it on Amazon. Is that the best way to purchase it, or is there a way we can purchase it directly from you?
That's correct. No, just go to Amazon. That's the best way to do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Looks really interesting. Don't paint your kitchen, how to sell yourself and get the job you want. So can you tell us the backstory about the don't paint your kitchen? What does that mean? Or is that a teaser for the book, Joey?
It's a teaser for the book, but I'm happy to share. You know, I think Jude picked up on it right away when she saw it last week or 2 weeks when I mentioned it. Some people don't get it. Some people are upset. They're like, what's with this title? So the point of the story is this. When you're looking for work, we all know that it's a struggle. It's strenuous. It's painful. There's going to be rejection. It's going to be hurtful. And so you don't want to do it because you're out of your comfort zone. As opposed to somebody who's like, and here's what I do. So I say this in the book, right? If you're into looking for work, you'll sit down at your kitchen table and start typing out letters, maybe creating a cover letter, looking for writing a resume, researching companies. But at one point, you're gonna take your hands off the keyboard. You're gonna look at the walls in your kitchen, and you're gonna go, "Well, my kitchen looks kind of drab. I think I'll paint my kitchen." The problem with and that's easy to do because all you have to do is move the refrigerator, maybe tape up some of the appliances and some of the cabinets, put something on the floor, get your materials together, and start painting the kitchen. In a day, you've painted your kitchen. It's a beautiful thing. But what you haven't done is you haven't looked for work. And your competition has looked for work. So while you're painting your kitchen, your competition is not only looking for work, somebody's probably going to get the job that you want. All right. The next day rolls around, you're like, I'm gonna get a job. I'm psyched. I can't wait to do this. The problem with that is that now you're typing away, you're writing your letters, you're doing your research. You look through the kitchen room into the dining room, which is now drab compared to your brand new painted kitchen. So now you're going to paint the dining room. The problem with the dining room is that you got chair rail moldings, you got crown molding, maybe you got a chandelier hanging from the ceiling, you got furniture has to be moved. It's going to take you a couple days, maybe a week. I don't know. A week has gone by. You haven't looked for work. That's a lot of time. What's the problem with that? You haven't looked for work. Now what's going to happen? Kitchen, dining room. Well, I got bedrooms. I got a hallway. And so you end up painting your whole house. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I tell people, don't paint your kitchen, look for work, get a job, and then hire a painter who does it for a living, who do it in a quarter of the time that you would do it, probably do it so much better than you, and then pay them because they need the money too. There you go. That's it. That's the spoiler. Sorry.
I love it. And I want to encourage, if there's anyone else on the call today who has a book, if you have published a book, put your link into chat right now. At the end of the call, I will remind people how to download the chat if you want to check those out. As you were talking, Joey, I just put it in my Amazon cart and made a purchase of it. So hopefully I'll have it like in the bookshelf behind me in one of the future weeks on here. But I always like supporting fellow authors. So if you are an author of a book, drop your book link into the chat, the link to purchase it or the website if you could. I love that story because I, procrastination, right? Like it's so much easier to paint my kitchen than it is to find a job.
It is.
And I love the relatability of it and the focus and the inspiration. So thank you, Joey. Congratulations on your book. And I was visiting your LinkedIn profile. Would you mind if I pulled it up on screen and see if I can give you any profile tips to help you with book marketing here too? So let me go back to, I navigated away from your LinkedIn to the Amazon. So let me pull you back up on here. And while we're doing that, I'll remind everyone too, we do have a private unlisted group on LinkedIn where you can go and find playback links to the calls. I try to put those in there once a week. You can share jobs if you're finding jobs in that job seeker group. You can connect with one another. And I just put the link to Joey's book in there. So, all right. So here's what I'm seeing on top cover of, by the way, great headshot photo, Joey. Is that new? The headshot photo? That's great. Really great headshot photo. One recommendation I would have on your headshot photo is you're looking like a little bit off in the frame. Can you move yourself center and make it just make it a little bit more centered in there? Are you able to, or is it cropped that way?
Oh, I could do it. I could do that.
And what I tell people, I'm going to show you guys this on screen right now too, is your face should be about 50 to 60% of the circle. And so often we see people that are like this far back. And it's really hard to see think about when we see the photos the most often, it's not like looking at their profile, it's in the homepage feed or more often in the mobile view. And when you're scrolling through there, it's really hard for us to see your face. So the more zoomed in you are, the easier it is for us to see your face. What I do is, let me click on edit profile photo, and I'm going to click on the white pencil icon in the lower left. That's not blue. I don't know why I said that. Lower left corner, the white pencil icon that says edit, and it will take you into this edit photo. And then you get this grid of 9 squares that reminds me of the Brady Bunch, right? And what you want to do is center your face in the middle frame. So usually what I like to do is, if you click on this little zoom tool, you can zoom in and zoom out. What I like to do is line up my eyebrows to the top of that middle frame, and then between my mouth and bottom of my chin in the bottom of that middle frame. If you do that, then you're at about the right percentage, which is about 50 to 60% of the frame. And that's what I like to do. This is really a headshot. This isn't like a full body shot. It's not like a fashion thing. And focusing in on your face makes you look more important, more personable, more approachable. Look like I'm doing right now, right? So the closer you are to the camera, the easier it is for us to see your face and you make a connection with people. So that would be my tip on there. Your header image in the background. I know you're trying to showcase that you're a speaker, but I feel like it's cluttered looking, Joey. And this is my immediate reaction as a marketer, as somebody who's looking at a lot of LinkedIn profiles. You really want to think about your header image is like a billboard on the side of the highway, and it needs to have one point, it needs to catch people's attention quickly. Right now, you've got multiple calls to action. You've got, kind of the headline, looking for work is selling yourself. You've got the 2 photos where you're promoting yourself as a speaker. Available 9/12. Now you could just change that to say now available.
Right.
See link below to order. Consider that more than half of your audience might be looking at this on the mobile device. So is it clear where we find that link on the mobile? So look at it on your own phone on the mobile app. And if it's see about for link to order, or tell us where we should go. I know on desktop, I can see it here. I don't know if I think that's on mobile too. It should be, but just make sure you're double checking that. And really what I would love, Joey, is the picture of the book. I would recommend that be the hero image and make that larger in the frame.
Okay.
And maybe all that is now available, see link below to order. Everything else comes out. You could use the pictures of you public speaking in a post on LinkedIn, do something on there later. So again, my 2 cents, I do this for a living. And by the way, for everyone else on the call, I do have a job seeker masterclass. I'm going to ask Paige if she wouldn't mind putting the landing page for that. If you're interested in learning more about how to use LinkedIn to support your job search, how to optimize your profile, how to search for jobs, the hidden jobs on LinkedIn, how to network with people, and how to post on LinkedIn as a job seeker, I have a masterclass that covers that off. It starts with a 1-month subscription at $29, and you can do an annual subscription at $99. So it's a very reasonable price point if you're interested in learning more. It's stuff like I just covered with Joey, like your header, your headshot photo. I want to help you in using LinkedIn for your job search. So definitely take advantage of that as a resource. All right. Let's see. I don't know if I saw any other. Oh, there was one question that came in from Gabrielle. So Gabrielle, we'll go with you, and then I'm going to scan through chat and see if there's anything else. And then if not, I'm going to go around to my experts, and I'm going to go back to my original topic, which is tips for job seekers recently unemployed, and see if they want to add or comment on anything there. Gabriel, are you able to unmute yourself? And please correct me if I have mispronounced your name.
Hello.
Hi.
No, you haven't mispronounced my name. Hello.
So how are you today? You had a question, I believe, for us, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes. My question is about the background picture in my LinkedIn profile. Currently, I do not have any background picture because I didn't know how to choose one that was, I don't know, fitting.
Okay. Can you tell us what is your targeted job title and targeted geographic area, if you don't mind?
I am currently based in São Paulo, Brazil, and I am looking for a job in human resources, more specifically in talent acquisition. I was just laid off from my job 2 days ago. I was a talent acquisition coordinator.
Okay.
And yeah, I got in this call because you commented on my
good.
Post yesterday.
Did I find you? Is this you right here?
Yes, this is me.
Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about your recent career transition. I feel like sometimes we forget, like, this is something traumatic people have gone through. And anytime, somebody, if I'm in conversations, I was talking to someone the other day, and they said I hadn't been in touch with you because the last time we communicated that night, my mom and my stepdad were in a car crash. And, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear. And let me know when you've caught up. But sometimes when we hear like somebody is in career transition, I wouldn't do it in a public message, but if I know them, I might message them. Sorry to hear about your job change. Let me know how I can help. Like, this is something traumatic that you've gone through. So your question is, what do I put in my LinkedIn header? Right now you have the default, and I want everyone to know this is the default. If this is what you have in your background right now, that means you have not chosen anything on your profile. So I'm going to give you the quick and easy free version, and then I'm going to talk about a webinar that's actually coming up. I'm going to put that in chat in just a minute here. But the quick and easy free thing, how do I swap it out? If you go to the top of your profile, Gabrielle, and click on the pencil icon that's in that header space, there is a place inside here. You scroll down to the bottom. If you don't have one, it would say upload photo. If you have one already, it would say change photo. But if I click on that, it's going to take me to the same page. So if you created one, you could upload it in the background. Or LinkedIn does have a header image library. A lot of these are kind of generic looking. Sometimes they are cause. They have pride things, Latino voices, Black Lives Matter. There's other things, stand for justice. They periodically add some to here, but this could be like something for now. You could put into your profile. You could grab one of the LinkedIn header images in there, and then you can always swap it out with something later. What I would recommend for you is that you do create a header that is reflective of your expertise. So I want you to think about your header image is not just artwork that you put on the wall that's something nice to look at. I want you to think about your header image as like a billboard for you, and it's really directed towards your ideal target audience. So for you, you're trying to demonstrate your passion, your expertise, your experience working within the field of human resources, and specifically within talent acquisition. So you could certainly search through, there's some free stock photo websites out there, Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels.com. You can search for human resources or people or talent or global. You can look for keywords and you can find like a free stock photo and just upload it into your account. If you want to get more focused on this, you could create an image using canva.com, using the free account on canva.com, and upload an image in there, and then maybe put a headline or something on the top of that image. Related to that, I want to just, let all of you know that I'm starting to do more webinars this year. And one is I'm creating this webinar. It's now offered. It's called Build Your LinkedIn Header on Tuesday, October 4th. It's not free because I do a lot of stuff for free. But what I find is that when I do free, I get, we get a lot of people registering, less than half of people attend. And then do you even do anything with it? You know what I mean? Like if you pay, you're more likely to do something with it. So this is a paid webinar. It's just $29. It's not exorbitantly expensive, but it'll be a 1-hour session where I'm going to walk you through how to create a custom LinkedIn header using canva.com. And during the session, I'm going to give you both instructions on the technical aspect, the marketing aspect of things, and then I'm actually going to pull a couple audience members and you're going to share your screen and I'm going to direct you how to do this yourself on Canva. So you know that expression, teach a man to fish and he'll never go hungry a day in his life. I don't know if I said that right. I want to teach you how to do this so that you know how to do this in an ongoing basis. So if you're interested in registering for that webinar, I'm going to drop the link in chat right now. I'm going to keep this at a small group size. I don't know when I'm going to cap it off and close registration. But if you're interested in coming and joining me for that, check that out Tuesday, October 4th from 1 to 2 p.m. And that is building your LinkedIn header using Canva. So Gabriel, was that helpful for you, moving from knowing what the default looks like and then maybe looking at some options for a custom header in the background?
Well, that was amazing tip, Brenda. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to take a look at your webinar here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I actually used Canva before to update my curriculum. So amazing tips. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And tell us, what is in the background? Is that like a landscape of buildings? Is that wallpaper? What is that? That's such a cool background you have behind you.
It's a wallpaper from my wall. And yeah, I think it's based on New York. And I bought it.
That's cool.
When I lived in Germany. So yeah, I thought it was pretty.
Do you do like podcasts or do you do a lot of interviews? Because it looks like you're set up for like, you're like a celebrity in there right now, Gabriel. What do you do? A lot of interviews or podcasts or anything like that?
And I've never done anything like that.
Doesn't he look like that? Go into chat and say yes if you agree with me. I was like, wow, he's probably got a fancy microphone, like boom microphone above us and lighting behind him.
Oh, thank you so much. Actually,
Yeah.
Christopher here has an amazing voice.
Yeah, well, thank you. And here's a tip for you too. And there's somebody else on the webinar. I can't remember who it is. I think it might be one of my co-hosts who has like paintings behind them. And their LinkedIn header has a picture of that painting, so there's, even though it's artwork, there's continuity between what you see on their profile and what you see when you get them in on a Zoom call. And I think you could even I normally say don't use, pictures background, but I think you could use that wall. You could take a picture of the wall and you could upload that into your background. I envision it like you upload it into Canva and then you create a headline that says, your next talent acquisition specialist. Like something on there that you kind of like pre-sell yourself as an employee of the company by people reading it. And then they get on the interview call with you on a Zoom or whatever, and they see your background and they're like, brand continuity. They're going to be like super impressed with you, right?
It's amazing. Thank you. And you now just gave me an idea of maybe creating a podcast. I'll think about that.
Ooh, there you go. Talk to Christopher about that.
I'll make sure to do that.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks, Brenda.
Well, thank you, Gabriel. All right. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up the fellow kind of career experts with me on stage. I'm going to bring up Jude. I'm going to bring up Mindy. I'm going to bring up Sue. All right, I think I got everybody on here. All right, so I want to go back to the question I asked at the beginning, which was tips for job seekers who are who've recently been displaced. I want to see if you have any advice to offer, and it could be what you typed in already, or it could be just some general thoughts. But I want to go around and give each of us a few minutes to talk about that, and then we're going to wrap up the call here. So I'll have Jude, you go first, then Mindy, and then Sue. Jude, do you have any advice for people that are recently displaced or things we should be thinking about right now?
I certainly do. So number one, if you are eligible for employment insurance benefits, that's the absolute first thing that you do. Once that's taken care of, my advice is to take some time and reflect on where you've been, what your skills are, what your values are, what your attributes are, what you liked about your work, what you didn't like about your work, what you liked about your coworkers, what you didn't like about your coworkers, your manager, your commute. I'm talking about a really thorough inventory of where you've been up to now, and then start thinking about where you'd like to go. Because once you get that into place, things get so much clearer, and that sense of desperation really is diminished because you have a sense of where you want to go. If you know where you want to go, then you can start creating a targeted company list. But you have to know who you are, what you want, what your top 3 skills are, because if you don't know that, you're going to flounder and your job search is going to take so much longer than it needs to. So that would be the first thing that I would do is really do a deep dive and take an inventory on you.
Wonderful. I love that, Jude. Thank you so much for sharing that advice. And I know you had a tip. I'll make sure to put your tip in I want all of you to be in my contact sheet because I want this resource to be helpful to job seekers. But, if you have services that are that could be assisting them, I want to make sure I'm helping you. This is my way of paying you back for all of your expertise. So thank you so much for that, Jude. All right, Mindy, what advice do you have for us?
Okay, so in addition to everything that Jude said, mindset is everything. And no hiring manager ever fought to find the most desperate job seeker. They're looking for people who can fill their job. And so working on your mindset and not going in as desperate is super important. Beyond that, you've got to have a strong network. Without that strong network, it's very, very difficult to penetrate the black hole. Your network is everything. And so if you don't have a really strong network yet, today is the day to begin. And what I did when I left the bank, I was director of human resources for a bank for many, many years. When I left the bank, I only had 120 contacts on LinkedIn because everyone I knew was at my job and they weren't going to really help me because they were all laid off. So I started looking at people I worked with in the past years ago, and I started reconnecting with people. And that's where I started to get some momentum. Talking to people who you know from the past. You can use those people to help you with recommendations. You can pick their brains as what might be out there in the market. For me, it was, hey, you know what? You know so much, Mindy. You could do your own business. You don't need someone else to hire you. And so that's what I did. And I created my book. So Brenda was asking who else has a book. I have a book. I put the link in there. It's You Are the CEO of Your Career. That's the truth. No one else is going to advocate for you as much as you can. So you are the CEO of your career. If you're interested, the book is on Amazon and I put the link in there. Network. That's my tip.
Okay. I want to pull your book up on screen right now because I can't believe I haven't done this yet. And I'm going to buy it after we get off the call here today too. So I can have it in the back bookshelf in my background here. This is it, right, Mindy? You are the CEO of your career. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. All right, awesome. I will make sure to include the link in the playback here later. And then we have Sue Griffey. Sue, advice for job seekers.
Mine is something you want to do pretty immediately. And I wouldn't have thought of it, but yesterday I was on a conversation with someone, Brenda, that you invited last week, and she was going to come today. She will come next week. She got slammed with, she's in transition, still working. Make sure you look and know about whether you're entitled to outplacement resources of any kind. And don't stop there, because this person I talked to is a contractor and she's not sure if her long-term contract includes that. I said, but go ahead and ask anyway. Sometimes it's worth a couple $1,000s of outplacement help to keep people from not being the squeaky wheel or whatever HR folks might be thinking in a layoff. So always ask, always ask, always ask, and ask even more. If it says outplacement for executives only, say, I need the help, I'm at this level. If it says outplacement services in general, ask for specifically what you want. Don't let them just send you to a counseling center if you know something specific you want to do. So you get the idea. Ask, ask, and ask.
I love that. And Sue, you just reminded me of something too. Sometimes we as job seekers are told in our separation agreement that we have access to outplacement, and you're so angry about what happened to you, you're like, I'm not taking anything more from that company. I'm not taking any help that they're offering because I'm so mad about the situation, and it's just disgusts me. And I remember like years ago, my dad was let go from his position, and he'd worked for the company for 24, 25, 20, I don't know what, it was a long time. And he was in his 50s when it happened, and they offered him a retirement party at a restaurant. And he was devastated that this had happened to him. And I understand, in this case, he's like, there's no way I'm going to take any money from that. I'm going to go to this luncheon or dinner at this restaurant and let them feed me. And I told him, like, Dad, you should, and we should all go. And he was able to invite his family. And I said, we should all go, and we should all order the steak and the lobster and the most expensive champagne on the list. And we should get every cent out of the company. And he was so devastated. He's like, nope, not going to do it. And he didn't. And I respected that opinion. But going back to Sue's point, your company, I want you to think about, your company might have paid for it anyways, regardless if you use the services or not. So they went to XYZ company, they bought a package of 40 outplacement services available to the employees, whether you use it or not. So the company's already paid for it. So you're not really snubbing them by not using it. It's already been paid for. And you're so emotional at the time, it may have been in there, but you were kind of blinded with tears and just like, no, I'm not going to look back and see what you had available to you. And if you've been recently displaced, reach back out and say, are there any outplacement services available for people who are being let go? Because maybe there were, and you just forgot to look it up. And I appreciate you saying, Sue, also, if it says outplacement for executives only, I noticed it says that, can you make these available to the rest of us as well? Right. And putting them in that awkward position to say no. They might say yes. They might go, yeah, we'll do that because I like your, the squeaky wheel. We want to keep you happy. When I left my corporate job, I approached and, put together a letter, and I read it to HR and the president of the company. And I said, the goal here is for both of us to go our separate ways and for things to go as smoothly as possible. Right. And they said, yes. Okay. This is what they were going to give me. I negotiated some additional things. I got about half of them, but I got more than what I was told I could get. So not forgetting that, it's really hard when you're in that emotional state where you feel like you have to take anything that they give you. So hopefully this conversation is helping all of you. I want to thank Jude, Mindy, and Sue so much for for being all your advice on these calls, for being a part of this community every week. I want to thank Christopher, who's in the background. Where's Christopher? Can you add yourself to the spotlight here on screen right now? I'm going to see if I can do it first. I got you first. There we go. All right, Christopher, for helping with things behind the scenes on these calls every week. And I want to remind all of you that this is temporary. This is a situation that you're in right now. You're basically kind of like you're on hiatus right now. You can use that, by the way. When people say, how are things going? Well, I'm on hiatus right now. I'm trying to reevaluate where I'm going next and what I'm doing. I'm looking for different things. That's all this is. This is a blip in your history. This will not be forever. This is just a pause for now. And it's giving you an opportunity to figure out what you want to do next. You are not alone. I want you all to know that this is part of the reason I have these Friday phone calls every week, because I want there to be a community that you can come to, that you can network with others and individuals and have that sense that you're part of a team. Because, a lot of us, we miss being a part of a team. And on that note, I want to remind you how to find the LinkedIn group. If you're not yet a part of this group, I invite you to join it. I'm going to go under my work icon and click on groups. That's the fastest way I like to get to my groups. And then I'm going to click on VIP Job Seeker Resources here. This is private and unlisted. And what that means is you cannot find it in the group's directory. And I have to admit you in order for you to be welcomed into the community. Part of the reason I have set it up that way is there are some people who are working but looking, and they don't want all of their posts to be broadcast out to the world. So private keeps it inside the group only. And unlisted means you can't find the group's directory unless I invite you. So I do invite select people like Joey and Jude and Sue and Mindy and Christopher who are working to be a part of our community, but I carefully screen them in because I don't want the pyramid scheme people and the Primericas and the Mary Kays, and sorry, no offense if you do any of those side things, but they tend to kind of like jump on people in situations, and I don't want them to come inside the group. I want this to really be a community of people who are either in career transition or supportive. And you can see right now we're up to 730 members. I would highly encourage you to look at the members in the group. If you click on where it says see all members, you can see next to their name, if it says second, that means you are not yet connected to them. Second or third, that's what that means. So I invite you to connect with them. When you connect with them, I want to remind you to personalize your invitation. I'm going to show you how to do that right now with Amy's profile as an example. You're going to click to go on their profile. And then if you see the connect button, you're going to click on that. If you don't, if you see the follow button, you're going to go under the more, and you should see an option under there that will say personalize invite or connect. I want to remind you this is recorded and on YouTube because I go quickly through these instructions. So you can go back in the YouTube and watch this again later. Okay. So I'm on Amy's profile. I'm going to click on connect, and then it says add a note or send. It looks like LinkedIn wants you to send it now. Really what you should be doing is adding a note every single time with every single invitation and adding some personalization. I do these manually. Do not use automation, guys. And I'm going to say, hi, Amy. Great to see you on the VIP call today, because I'm reminding her where we met, right? And then I'm going to ask for the invitation. Let's connect on LinkedIn, Brenda Meller. And then I'm going to send it off. Now, once Amy accepts the invitation, I will be able to see that messaging history, like, I don't want to say forever, because I think it drops off after 10 years, but maybe for 5 years or so. 6 months from now, 2 years from now, Amy, you and I are going to forget that we were on the call together, but you'll be back to work. And at some point you'll be like, I want to hire somebody to train my company on LinkedIn. Oh, that Brenda, right? And you'll look for me and you'll be able to message me and we're connected and all that good stuff. So reminder to connect with fellow job seekers that are a part of that group. 730 people are here to support you. You are not alone. I want you to remember that. The time is now 11:05, so I do want to start wrapping us up here today. I want to say thank you to all of you for being a part of our wonderful VIP job seeking community. This is temporary. Someday you're not going to be here. My goal is not to see you on the Friday calls, not because I don't like you, but because my goal is to get you back to work. In the meantime, we are here for you every Friday. And reminder, if you ever see people posting on LinkedIn that they are unemployed, looking for help with their job search, tag me in the comments, just say, hey, at Brenda Meller may be able to help. And I'll reply back with the link to join the job seeker group. I think there were 1 or 2 new people that I did that with on today's call. Gabriel, were you one of them that I tagged in the comments? Was that you? No, did I invite you to the group from, I'm not sure. Somebody posted and I said, yeah, come and join us on Friday. I'm not sure if it was you or someone else.
It was me. It was me.
Okay, so you were one. So when people post about they're looking for work, this is what I'm looking for, just tag me in on the comments and say, check out Brenda Meller's group, and we'll invite them into the group here. All right, with that said, thank you again to Christopher, Jude, Sue, Amy, Camille, Christina, Cindy, Colleen, David, Dean, Dorothea, Ryan, Esmeralda, Gabriel, Jeff, Joan, Joey, Linda, Lisa, LT, Nancy, Paige, Sandra, Scott, Sonia, TGIF, Valerie, Vic, and Wendy. And I want to remind you guys that, let me see if I can get this on here. I got to get hold on, I got to get the others off of the screen. Remove the spotlight just for a second here so you can get the full effect. If you missed my mug at the beginning, I do this again. You are awesome. I'm not going to say the other word because that's going to get me banned off of YouTube. Awesome. Remember that. Come and join us every week in the meantime until you are back to work. I'm going to stop the live broadcast right now in the live stream onto YouTube. I'm going to take my dog outside, but I will keep the Zoom open for about another 10 minutes if you want to stay on for continued networking. Reminder, if you want to download the chat, I'm going to end the broadcast here. To download the chat, you'll go to the chat in the box that says chat. In the bottom where it says to everyone, click on the 3 little dots. And then there's a link to save chat that will save a copy of the chat transcript down to your desktop and your downloads folder. And you can go back and check out the links and connect with people, all that good stuff after the call. If you by chance are on mobile, just ask someone else from the group if they can email that to you. All right, Christopher, did I get everything? You're always good at helping me with this stuff.
You did. And if there was a particular turn of phrase that you want to capture, you can also download the transcript. And it is in the same manner. So if you click on the CC and view full transcript, you can download that and it will be in the same folder as the chat.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you so